Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to share with you guys another plant haul. Now this one is about 2 months of stuff, so like September and October. So there's quite a few, but so let me get into it. I'm going to kind of show you the first one here that's sitting on the floor next to me. And you can see right here. At the end, I'll flip the camera around and I'll show you how I have them styled in my house, like which planters I put them in if I don't show you during the haul part. And then kind of show you how I have them styled, what other plants I have them around, because a lot of times I try and group them based on humidity needs or moisture needs. So first off is this guy here, and this is a money tree, a pacana aquatica, and I picked him up at Home Depot. I went looking, sorry about that, I'm trying to turn the camera back. I went looking for a plant that I've been searching for now for like a month and a half probably. I'm looking for a Scindapsus exotica. That's the one with the leaves that are like the size of your hand. And I had seen, I'm part of a Facebook group. It's called Big Box Store Plant Watch, and they're showing up some places, so I figured I might as well check. And I saw that they had about 5 of those guys, and I didn't think much of it at the time. But then I got home and I got to thinking it'd be the perfect statement plant on the floor because it's pet friendly. A lot of the other ones that would make a statement in a space like that, you know, like fiddle leaf figs or yuccas or any of those, they're all toxic, and I really worry about that with Jordan. So that one is a pet friendly one, and so far so good. I've had it here probably like a month and a half. And what I do is I just have a little grow light set above it that I turn on at night. I don't use them much during the day because I want to be around for it, which I am now, but eventually I'll be back to work. So far so good on that guy sitting there with the grow light. So that is the first one I wanted to show you guys. The next one I'm going to show you is another large size plant, and I went on a little nursery type shopping of our area. We have a store called Philodendron Farms, and there's 4 in the Hudson Valley area. 3 of them are within like driving distance, like a normal type driving distance. So I did the whole set of 3, and it was really exciting. It was just like a me kind of day. But anyways, this is the first plant I picked up, and this is a domino peace lily. So peace lilies are a plant that's never really been on my radar. I never really wanted one or thought about it until I saw this variegated one, and I just thought it was so neat. The leaves are leathery. Now, I don't have a regular peace lily, so I don't know if the regular one is like that too. But it's got like a leathery texture. It's got a lot of neat marbling, which I prefer to like hugely amounts of white, because those leaves never seem to do as well. So I just think this guy's really fun, and this is a great plant if you're a beginner because it tells you when it needs to be watered. It'll droop and look terrible, and then you water it and it'll come back to life within like the next day or so. And this guy I actually found for, I think it was $20. So not terrible for this size of a plant. I was really happy about that. Now on that same day, I also picked up these little terrarium plants up here behind me, and when I do the flip around and show you how I have things styled, you'll see those better too. But I just kind of wanted something to see how it would work under a cloche for the most part, and those guys are doing really well too. Now these were back probably towards the end of September, so it's been about a month going in there, and they're doing okay. And then the last plant I picked up during that trip is this Calathea, and this is a Calathea macquayana. And this one has kind of like an iridescence to the leaves, which I don't think it's going to show up on camera, but just a really fun one. And this one is also pet friendly. This nursery marks a lot of their plants with paw prints if they're pet friendly. And the price I paid for this was $10. So, I mean, at that point I thought it was good because I had never seen it, but then like 2 weeks later I went to Lowe's and they had the large pot for I think $11.99 or something. So if I had waited, I would have gotten a bigger one for like $2 more, but this is the perfect size. I have this also up there in that cabinet behind me on a different shelf, and I'll show you that too. Now I have one random one that I just picked up at Walmart, and that's this Travisscantia here. And I'm not as thrilled with this one as I thought I was going to be. So I've had this one probably now for the better part of that 2 months. And from everything I had read and heard, Travisscantia grows like crazy. But this one's not doing that great for me. Maybe I'm giving it too much light, so that's something I might play around with. But the reason that I was drawn to this one is the leaves have kind of a shimmery quality to them. I don't know if it's going to show up, but they have like a shimmer to them. It's just really pretty. I liked the dark purple with like the minty green. But like I said, it's just, it just seems kind of like weak to me. So maybe it just needs time to acclimate and pick up. I did change the soil because the soil that comes in the little Costa Farms type pots, it stays wet too long for me. And that's pretty much all the plants I've showed you, or I'm showing you today. I didn't change the peace lily because that one, I feel like that one likes to stay damper than the rest. But the rest of these, I went and I potted them up with my soil because I felt like they were staying too wet too long. So maybe this one will kind of pick up. It'd probably be more like towards the spring now because winter's coming and they won't do a lot then. Okay, I had to go grab my prop box, and Jordan wanted to come and see what was going on with all the plants sitting around. So he is going to sit here for a little bit maybe, and we'll show you this. So in here I just have a cutting. Hey, don't mess with that. That's a bad thing. Why don't you go get a toy? Okay, so in here I have a cutting. I have some going in water and I have some in here. I've started experimenting with the prop boxes. I saw Harley G do it, and I thought, you know, I'll give it a shot. And I have to tell you, for some plants, it is amazing. I have a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, which grows like a weed. So I took a cutting of it to kind of, you know, get it under control and see if I could propagate. That cutting sat in water from March until August doing nothing, and I just kind of left it because I wanted to see what would happen. It did nothing. So I put one of them in a prop box, and it got roots within like 2 weeks. So for things that are hard to root, if you're not getting any results, I would recommend trying this. If you watch Harley G's video, she explains it a lot better. But basically, it's just damp sphagnum moss in here, and then you put the cuttings in. And then what I'll do is every few days, I'll just kind of leave the lid a little bit off so it can get some air. I think she actually drills holes in the top, but anyways. So I have a global green cutting in here. And this is a newer type of pothos that's starting to show up in box stores. And like I said, that Facebook group, I found a girl in there in Florida who had found it, and she was going to sell cuttings. And she was looking for the Cebu Blue, which I have in my collection already. So we just ended up swapping cuttings. So I've got this one here in the prop box, and then I've got 2 other ones in water to kind of see which does better. So I have, you know, hopefully a good shot at getting a rooted plant. But it's just green, and then it's got the lighter green in the middle. And I just thought that was really pretty. And then I've also got, in that one I just showed you in case you were curious, there's a piece of Hoya Crimson Princess in there to see what that does. Because like I said, I had that in water and it wasn't doing anything. Okay, these next, I think last 4, I think I've only got 4 left to show you guys. These are the most exciting ones. I saved them for last because of that. So the first 2 I'm going to show you. I feel like I'm talking really fast because I'm so excited. The first 2 I'm going to show you, I picked up over the Labor Day weekend. We went to Lake Ontario. So my husband and I went up and stayed in Syracuse for a night, and then we went to Lake Ontario. We rented a cabin or whatever, my family. And we just, every year we kind of do that. So I follow a plant store in Syracuse called Found Things Co. They're on Instagram, and they do a lot of cute like pictures and little tours of their shop. And I saw that they had gotten in a Philodendron brantianum, and that was one of the ones that you could order and pick up in store. So I planned it where I could order it and then pick it up when I would be in the store that weekend. So this is that guy, and I'm excited about it, but it hasn't done a whole heck of a lot for me, honestly. I figured being a philodendron that it would grow fast, but I'm not finding that to be the case with this. There is a lot of new little growth pieces, if you can see in there, but they don't really seem to be doing a whole lot. So I did end up repotting this one because it was staying wet too long. You can see some other little ones. And I have this under a grow light, so I'm gonna I'll give it a little bit longer. Maybe it's too much light, I don't know. These are the new leaves coming out. And I mean, this is the first time growing this plant, so I don't know if they come out darker. I know that on my other philodendrons they do, like just the traditional heartleaf one, they come out like coppery and then they turn to green. So I'm not panicking, but I'm also kind of just waiting to see what's gonna happen. And I have him in this really cool pot here. This was actually, I think, a basket that I picked up at a thrift store and then just cut the handles off because I liked the rounded shape of it. And then what I do with that is I just put like a little saucer inside. That way it doesn't drip on anything. So that's how I have him right now. And then this one is the exciting one from that weekend. So I happened to be at work and I got an email notification that Steve's Leaves had restocked their Monstera silta pacanas because I had set up the notification that I wanted to know when it came back in stock. So I ended up getting one of these guys, and this was $25, so I was thrilled. I thought that was like the greatest thing. And it actually ended up coming where I had my mom pick it up off of my porch and bring it up with her that weekend because I was up there a day earlier and it was going to come while I was not home. And so this was just really exciting to unbox. And this one grows really fast. If you are looking for a fast grower, I would definitely recommend this one over the Brandy. This one makes me a lot happier. So you can see, you know, I think since I've gotten it, probably everything from like here down has been new. This one grows really quickly for me. Again, this is one that I repotted in my own mix because I didn't like how wet it was staying. In greenhouses, they have perfect conditions, so they'll use their water quicker. In my house, I try and give them the best I can with like the light, but obviously it's not as good as a greenhouse. So they don't use up the water as quickly. So I like to repot them in my own arid type mix that I make. And basically what I do is I do 2/3 of a potting soil, 1/3 perlite, and then depending on which plant I'm putting in it, I will just throw in a bunch of orchid bark. So like for aroids like this, I'll throw in a bunch. If it's a fern, I'll only throw in a little, but you get the idea. So this guy is doing really well, and I'm actually gonna have to repot him because you can see the roots are starting to come out the bottom. Okay, I just grabbed the last two to show you guys. So these last two came from Connecticut, and I've had these guys now for maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, so I'm still kind of learning with them. The first one I'm going to show you came from Terrarium, which I go to the one in Westport, Connecticut, and I was looking for the Exotica, like I said, but when I saw this guy, I could not leave him behind. So this is an Antherium Superbum, and I mean, I'm such a child because every time I see the name, it just makes me smile. But I really enjoy, I have one Antherium and I love it. It seems to be really easy for me. It puts out new leaves, but not so much that it's like unmanageable. So it's a really nice plant where you get to see some reward, but it's not growing so fast that you can't handle it. And I don't know, I just thought this one was really cool. So I'm going to give this guy a try and see. And this one's got really, really thick leaves. And it's kind of reminiscent of like a bird's nest fern. I like the shape of it, like the rosette type thing. So I'm excited to see how this guy goes. And right now, this is the only pot I could find. So he's just sitting in this. It's not the best because you can see it over the lid or over the rim, but for now it'll do. And lately I've been doing where I do like a grow pot inside of a cash pot. I used to go ahead and drill holes in all of these and then just plant the things directly. But I like the freedom that this gives me to swap out pots for the season. That I can put them into like baskets or maybe like golden or brass pots for like Christmas time. So I like the freedom that that gives me to kind of play around. And then the last one that I'm going to show you in this haul portion also came from Connecticut. This came from a greenhouse called Van Wilgen's. And from what I see, they have like a chain up there, but there's one that has like a really nice like indoor houseplant greenhouse. And I picked up this guy. And this is a Peperomia Hope. Now this is only the second Peperomia I have right now. I'm not huge on Peperomia. I know that that's probably not a popular opinion, but I haven't been really into them much. I have a Peperomia Ruby Cascade, which I picked up because of the name, because we used to call Macy Ruby, like a nickname for her. So when I saw that, I was like, all right, that one's a good one. And that one I have, that one does really well. I treat it like a succulent and it does good. I had a Peperomia prestrata, a tiny like 2-inch pot. That I ended up, that one's gone. That one's not with me anymore because it just did not thrive. But anyways, I'm planning on treating this like a succulent to kind of see. I feel like the leaves and the stems are thick enough that it's going to be more of a succulent one. So, and this is another one that's pet friendly. So I kind of like that I can have something that can hang off of a shelf and I don't have to worry about it. So I was really excited for this. This one also has been repotted and I've got it just sitting in this really cute IKEA pot. This one I think is called the, Citron Syra. And I know that they make this in different sizes. This was the only size I could find. And then what I do is I just put some leca in the bottom and that kind of holds it up where if it's freshly watered and it drips, it's not going to sit in the water, but it also elevates the plant so it's level with the edge of the pot. Oh, and the prices on those too. So the Superbum, he was, I believe, $20, which is kind of right in line with what Etsy is charging. I always kind of try and do a check. I'm also willing to pay a little bit more to get it in person because then I get to pick. And for me, that's part of the fun, kind of like setting them down and comparing which ones I like. So that guy was 20, and then this guy I believe was only 12 or 13. But I don't know. I'm really excited about that one. So, all right, guys. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to turn this camera around, and I'll just show you quickly how I have them styled in my house, where I have them, what kind of light they're getting. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned, and we will go on a little bit of a tour. All right, we're going to start right here with the money tree, and I just have it sitting next to my hutch. And then there's Jordan. He was sitting next to me. I film right there on the floor. How you doing, little guy? Are you going to be on YouTube? Do you want to? If you ask him if he wants to do anything, he gets very excited. Okay, so I'm going to take you into the hutch right now. And you can see up here in the top middle, this is where the Philodendron brandy is. On the middle shelf, I just have that Calathea sitting here. And all these shelves are hooked up with grow lights. And they're just LED under cabinet lights. They're not specifically grow lights, but they did really well for me last winter, so I'm just going with it. And then on the bottom is these little terrarium plants that I kind of did a teaser. So let me just get in here and show you these. Now these I picked up from that Adams place I told you about. These are all like $2.99 a piece, I think. So here's just a little syngonium. There is a little asparagus fern. And then this one back here is a variegated brake fern, which it's losing some of its variegation. So I don't, maybe it's getting too much light. I'll have to look into that. In this little one here, I have just a pilea, the aluminum plant. And what I did recently, I pinched off that top growth because I wanted to branch more than just get super tall. And then the back one is just a parlor palm. And this one seems to love it. This one is putting out so much new growth. You can see like little ones popping up and then another one there. So that one really seems to be doing well. The others are doing well too, but they're not showing as much new growth as that one. And then here we go. This makes me so nervous trying to put this back on because that donkey tail thing, see them? If you touch that wrong, you lose so many of those little pieces. Okay, and then continuing here, this is the other side of the dining room from that hutch. This is where the Monstera is. And that's just a really cute planter I found at TJ Maxx. They had two and I only bought one, and now I wish that I had bought two because I think they'd be cool like stacked. But it was originally had a black pot in it, and I just spray painted it because I felt like it was contrasting too much with the white wall, the gold hanger, the black pot, the green the green leaves. I thought it was too much contrast. So now you kind of just get the green leaves and the gold just melting against the white. So I really am happy with that. And this is a south window here. So it's kind of off to the side of it, and it seems to really enjoy that. And then that same window is the one I have that Travisscantia in, which is why I thought maybe it was getting too much sun. So right now I know it's fall and winter. This window is probably okay because it's not going to get as much, but next spring I'll probably try moving it. And the plants that are all sitting here with it, the majority are just ones that were outside in the summer, and I just needed somewhere to put them now until I decorate for Christmas, and then I'll put them upstairs in my little grow area. And excuse the mess on the table. I am doing a puzzle, and this is like the hardest one I've ever done. You can see the only parts I got put together are the parts with like a picture on them. The rest is all just a lot of green and black. So this is something I'll be working on for a bit. And then finally, I'm going to finish up here in the living room corner. So this is where the peace lily is. And this one's kind of here. This window that it's sitting in front of is my front porch, and it's got like a roof. So that one doesn't get a whole lot of light, but it gets light from this window. And then I've got some really high, I'm trying to think of I think it was lumen, really high lumen LED bulbs in there to kind of see how they'll do. I always try and go with like an LED or a white grow light first because I don't like the purple light. I can't, it just bothers my eyes. And then the other two new ones, I'm going to try and do this without the sunlight washing this out, are right here. So this is the Antherium, and I put it right next to the other one. I thought this one thrives here, you know, similar family, that maybe they would do well together. And then the Peperomia I have here because it will get the light kind of filtering in. There's some Hoya hanging up there that will filter some of it out. That other plant is a little bit in front of it, and hopefully it will do really well there, and I have it where it'll start to trail. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I was really excited to show you the plants that I picked up, and I hope that seeing them styled maybe gave you some ideas for what kind of light to put them in or different planters to play around with. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.